So again, here we have another one of our circuit puzzles. Again, I would say that this as a task is a little bit beyond the normal grade 9 level, but I'm putting it in here as a little bit of a challenge to do something kind of fun. We're going to look for this resistor here, and we're starting with this circuit as shown. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take what I'm going to call location 4. Since I have two of the things there, I can use that to find the last thing that I'm missing. So at 4, V equals IR, I have a voltage of 4 volts, an unknown current, and a resistance of 5 ohms. So isolating for current, I get 0.8 amps. So if the current here is 0.8 amps, and you have to imagine this is like a road with no exits, if that's 0.8 amps, then we can recognize that this also must be 0.8 amps. So I'm going to call this location 3. Now that I have two things at location 3, I can use them to find the third thing. Here I have my current at 0.8 amps and my resistance at 4 ohms, and I get a voltage of 3.2 volts. Okay, now I can start looking at the big guy here. If I go around this big open loop on the outside, I can see I go up 20 volts, down voltage 1, calling this location 1, then down 3.2 volts, and down 4 volts until I reach back down to the original point. So V1 then must be 20 minus 3.2 minus 4, 12.8 volts. Okay, now here's a little trick that I don't usually do. I'm going to recognize that since this branch, I'll do it the easy way. I'll go around the inner loop here. So I'm going to go up 20 volts, down that 12.8 I just figured out, up here to here, now I'm here, and then down, I'm going to call this location 2, so I'll call this V2. So V2 equals 7.2 volts. Now I have two things at location 2, so I can find the third. Solving for current, a current of 0.9 amps. And now, going up to resistor 1, I'm going to use the current law, looking at the currents as they divide off here. And I see that I1 has to supply both I2 and I3. So I can say that I1 is going to be equal to the sum of I2 and I3. One of those is 0.8 amps, and the other one is 0.9. So I get a total current, if I have to supply both of those, of 1.7 amps. So that means this current is 1.7 amps. And then finally, at location 1, V equals IR. I've got 12.8 volts and 1.7 amps and a resistance, and I can solve for my resistance. So I got a resistance of 7.5 ohms. So again, I wouldn't ask a question like this on a test or something like that. It is beyond the grade 9 level, but I thought some of you might find this stuff interesting and get motivated to try and solve some puzzles and, I don't know, maybe think this is a little bit fun.